This is only the second episode with Twitch, bro, so.
And you save them, upload them to YouTube?
Yeah, well, the Twitch part, it's a whole different video, obviously, so it's like a different angle. But yeah, I'll save that video and then throw it on YouTube. But this one's, it stays on Twitch, though. It stays on Twitch. But, alright, yeah, this is episode 90, 100 podcast. I brought in Seth Morales for the third time. Is it third time? Third time, but he did exactly what he said he's going to do. He said he was going to get into real estate, get his license, and at this point now, I don't know how many, you've sold at least your first house, so what was your process up to selling that first house? Like, was it tough for you? Did it take a while?
Yeah, it took a good while. Well, it took me a whole year to sell my first house, which is, the average is at least, I know, like 6 to 8 months. So I started the process of this first house at like 10 months. Then it took like a 2-month process of selling it because it took a little longer. But definitely it takes a lot of patience and a lot of things. The paperwork is the hardest part rather than like finding people that want to buy or sell a house.
Yeah,
because the paperwork that you have to deal with, the amount of stuff you have to learn is like the little tedious things. That's like the hardest part.
Is that probably the biggest thing you're needed for as a
almost to a point? Yeah, is to do all the California paperwork and all the transfers of.
And shout out to people that are joining in. I think we have Volent Views over here. We have Nick has the funks as well, bro. We got a couple people in here. Let's go. But yeah, Julian's in here. How did you stick to the plan, dude? 1 year? 1 year process? How did you, like, because I think a lot of people, like, we were kind of talking about it a little bit before the podcast. They think real estate's like a get rich quick. Like, I'm going to get in there, get my license, I'm going to just start selling houses even though they don't know anybody. They got to, like, they're just like, I'm in here, I'm just going to run. I'm just going to start running. Like, it's definitely not that way.
No, well, I knew from the beginning, like, coming in that it's not a get rich fast thing.
Yeah,
so, like, I knew I was going to have to fucking grind my teeth for like a couple months. I wasn't expecting a year actually, but that was like longer than I even planned.
Yeah.
To sell my first one at least, but I worked a part-time job just to get by month to month and pay my bills and stuff, so I could put all my time to real estate during the day, but still work the job at night. So like I wanted to try to find like a balance where I don't have to work a full-time job. So I kind of knew beforehand what my plan was going to do. Was work a part-time job, but try to do as much real estate as I can.
It was going to be a grind for sure.
Yeah, and eventually now that like I'm a year I got my, last month it's been a year. But now things are starting to kind of like roll in, whether it's like me advertising myself, talking to people, they're all starting to kind of like funnel in slowly. So where it's kind of being like getting the ball rolling.
Yeah. What changed in your head, bro, when you decided to go fully into real estate? Because I remember I was working with you, we're doing testing people for COVID, bro, and like there's one day, I don't even know when it was, man, but like you stopped fucking with the sweets at work, you started waking up early and going to the gym like before work, like you just had a full plan, you started meal prepping, like
I was like a full life switch.
Yeah, and it was like in a day, bro. It wasn't, and like people say that never happens, but it literally was like one day you're this way, and the next day you woke up and you're like, nah, bro, I'm going a whole different way.
It was, I guess it really was like a lifestyle switch, because it's like you kind of have to do a complete 180. I guess to be like, let's say like I was balls deep in it. I was just fucking like, I'm gonna roll with this and like I'm gonna take off. Like I'm not gonna turn back type thing. So that was when I signed up for like the personal training. I paid for that obviously, but then I was like, if I'm gonna pay this much, I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna be strict to my diet, etc. All that stuff. So that was when I started waking up at, what time did we work at? 7:30 or 8?
Yeah.
So I would wake up at 4, go to the gym at 5, finish my workout, and I go to work at 8. Then the afternoon, I think I still worked a part-time job. So I was up from like 4 to 10 just working.
Still working on your real estate stuff.
Yeah, that was at the time of I was studying to take my test. So that was just.
How was that? Was the test was not even the study material? How was that overall? The real estate test. Like if you could pass along some tips for anybody that's trying to get into it, what would you pass along? Is it tough? Should you really just sit there and study every day? Like what do you think is the best plan?
I wouldn't say it's like tough. It's like everything that you read in the material that they give you is like in the test, but they kind of like flip words around like any other test.
Got you.
Answer straight up, but I would say it's fairly simple. I've known people that studied legit like 2 weeks out. They didn't. I studied like 4 months out because I didn't want to walk in like I didn't study enough. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I wanted to walk in confident. But I know some people that walk in like 2 weeks. They cram study. And they pass it. But like just my way is like I can't sit for 4 months. It just drives you crazy. Knowing that I'm not like progressively like doing something to help me. It seems. I guess that's how I work. My mentality is like just get your study in at some point. Even if you got a cram. Months, I had to do it like every day. I did at least like 2-3 hours. Then that was it.
And at what work did you put in to get that first sale? How did you get there? What was the step to get to that first person?
I was showing up at the office every day from like 9 to 2, and I worked my nighttime job from 4:30 to 10:30, 11. So this was so I was showing up at the office. I'd go in for like 2 hours and I'd leave. Then like we have this thing in the office, like whoever's in the office and like someone walks in or calls the phone, like that's your person. That's your lead. So like by me I would say by me showing up like legit every day.
Smart move, just be in the office.
And one day someone called the phone and it was a guy in wherever the one I sold in Rancho Mirage. He called and just said like I want to sell my house. Then I set an appointment. I was at his house like the next week. We signed paperwork and I was like on to the races.
No fucking way.
Yeah. So I guess it's like I'm not a believer of like it was given to me. But to a way, it was like all the time that I showed up for the office that I had nothing to do. Like I had no one to work on. I was just showing up in the office waiting for someone to walk in.
Bro. Yeah.
Waiting for someone to walk in the door. Waiting for someone.
You just trusted the process.
Yeah, and eventually he called in and I was like, boom, there you go.
Because I know you started and you were with, I don't even remember, but you were with one agency, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to another one. Do you feel like when you adjusted to the second? Because the first one was more virtual, right? It was all like online type.
Yeah,
get leads. It was kind of crazy, like new, next generation type stuff. When you adjusted to the more person to person real estate agency, did you feel like it helped you out? Do you feel like it got you?
Yeah. Because then I had like whether you have like, because you're gonna have questions regardless.
Yeah.
And like being in person and like I could just go to the next cubicle and ask someone like, hey, what is this? How do I do this?
Got you.
And that's like our office manager type, and she does all that stuff. So like I'm able to just ask her anything I want. She'll help me, and it's like simple. And like the other one, it was just complicated because you had to go through.
Do you have any? I don't know. Like, is there competition in the office? Like that guy, for example, you get that lead. Is there anybody in the office like what the?
Nah, because that's what kind of makes it nice. I guess maybe there are some people that see like me as competition, but all these people I don't see is like it's kind of like you get like a family environment when you're kind of in the office.
Okay.
So like I don't get that feeling unless someone else gets that feeling towards like, me or someone else. I don't know. That's their problem, not mine. But
I've never seen you have an issue with anybody though. So that's probably
so like I don't get like the competition feeling from other people where it's like kind of people don't want to talk to each other like that. Nah, I'm not really like that, but.
How do you want to keep pushing real estate? Is that your is it what you expected it was? Yeah. Is it what you thought it was gonna be going into it? And do you feel like this could be your career?
I felt like
going forward.
I guess my expectations weren't like too. They were high, but I wasn't expecting it to become like so quick. You know what I mean? So like I kind of like I understand like all this is what it takes to like get to the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like I expected all this stuff for it to be hard, like patience is like the biggest thing that I've learned over this time. I imagine I sat a year not doing shit, but like I didn't get anything.
Just basically trusted the fucking process, sitting there and just like every day, like going to the office, just waiting.
Yeah, and there is people that I guess there's like a guy that's taking me under his wing, so his name's Julian. He helps me out.
Okay.
But he's kind of like a firm believer in like which I am too, because you see like the shit I post, like the whole universe, like what do you call it, like vibrations and stuff. Like I believe
putting out good
stuff.
Vibes and putting out.
So like I guess you could go that route of like sales pitching people and just like calling and doing like this.
Okay.
But me and him kind of like work in the same way as like if you just kind of like believe in things, like they're gonna gravitate towards you, and it's like it works. So like it sounds weird.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
There's like people in the office that like laugh at that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know.
but there's the same reasons like people walk in the door that they call. I told you like we sent a postcard and they called us like the next day saying, and it said me and that guy we went half on all these postcards and they called back saying they want to sell their house.
Oh,
so like things work like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like then we have it like hung up on our wall to like kind of
like
like look at it every day. Yeah.
Like okay.
Yeah, like we have everything on a whiteboard in the office. It's kind of like I don't know, our own little.
No, that's smart because
I
feel I've seen that said so many times, and not just real estate or whatever, but like athletes and like just professionals, business owners in general. They always say like write down your goals or like have it written down. You know, like don't just talk about it or just like in your mind have something like write down something. You know, like and just it could go from there. You know?
Yeah,
like,
so we have
put it on paper.
And we have a whiteboard in our office, and like I have one in my room. And it's broken down into. I think I have three categories. I have like real estate, then I have life, then I have fitness.
Okay.
Then I change it every 6 months, like on my whiteboard. Just like I go mark by whether they're reachable or not. Like I just put something that like on top of my head, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna write it down and.
Just something good for you. Just
Then like 6 months, if I check up, like okay, I can work on this. I can work on this. Obviously, there's like so many goals that you're.
What are you building on your life besides real estate, like life or fitness? What are some of the things you're working towards? It's not career oriented.
That's a good question.
Is that
like building relationships? Like
I don't know. Just like spiritually or like fitness related. Is it like go to the gym a certain amount of times or like run a marathon, or is there anything like I don't know, like a passion project? You know, besides. I don't know. Maybe it's just how your lifestyle is, because your lifestyle seems like it's a passion project now. You're fucking, your soul, bruh.
It's so hard to look at it as like a career thing now, because it seems more like a daily habit.
That's kind of what it is. Yeah, so it seems like it's just your life.
So now, like, this is the way
you enjoy it. You're not like you don't look at it as work when you're doing it.
It's pretty much like I'm enjoying like day to day now. So it's not like I'm looking at like damn, I don't want to do this tomorrow. I don't blah blah.
Especially once you see it start working out, you know, like once you start selling a house or you're getting more leads, you're talking to people. It must make you feel like okay now, like you must enjoy it, bro. It's like fucking,
exactly. So
you get a little rush every time you get a little fucking.
I'm going golfing 3 times a week.
Yeah, bro. Like you're like already living it, dude. Like you're like.
That's pretty much my thing. Is like I want to sell houses, golf, and work out. I'm addicted to golf now.
Man, what a dream, bro.
An old person's dream.
I know, man. Are you gonna be a professional golfer or something? Get in the senior tour?
No, but I want to golf a lot. It's fun.
Yeah. How often are you working out, dude? What's your fitness? Because I remember you were like pretty into fitness, and then you went pretty crazy, dude. I don't know, man.
I work out every day. My routine is. I wake up 6:30 every day.
Is it all work like weights, or is it
mostly
cardio?
Weights. Yeah, weights, and I do cardio after. But I guess my mentality is like having a routine helps you out within like mental like fog and clarity. So it's like I don't want to walk into a day unplanned, because then it seems like your day is more stressful. Does that make sense? So I like everything like written down. Like this is what I'm gonna do today. To the end of the day or the end of the week, or I go day by day. So I wake up at.
Do you have like a full journal laid out? Like do you have not even like a journal, but like a schedule? Like every week you got your schedule listed for what your plan is, or do you just kind of?
Yeah, most of the time, but like at the beginning of my day is pretty much at this time like routine. So I just wake up 6:30. I eat. I go to the gym by like 7:38. Then I just take my shit to the gym, and I shower there, and I go straight to the office. And I'm there until like 2 or 3, depending what I have going. Whether I have to work on paperwork, but I'll be there from like 2 or 3. Then either I'll go home, or I was working a part-time job, but that it's over. Now. The season's done.
Because it's summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so now I'm just going home, but like the sale kind of landed at the perfect time. So I don't need that part-time job.
I'm really grinding now.
So now I'm just gym, the office, and I'll go home.
The office is there a certain amount of hours you got to be there, or is it just kind of up to you? You decide if you're gonna be there and if you're gonna put in the work.
So a lot of people actually ask that question. So it's like whether they see me all the time, like, oh, do you get paid? And it's like, I get paid for how many houses I sell. I don't get paid for showing up. Like,
you don't get an hourly.
No,
wage.
They don't tell you to show up every day. It's like everything is on your own. So that's why it was like, at the time where someone was calling.
Dang! Shout out. Hey, oh, right here, perfect question. Bowling Views actually has a question. We got comments all crazy, dude. We got 5 people in here.
I can't see that far.
Yeah, Bowling Views just said, do you want to stay in California or do you want to move to a different state?
I want to stay in California.
Yeah, that's your goal. I feel like
it's expensive, but I feel like it's. I would actually want to stay here in the valley too.
I kind of like. It's kind of growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm stuck. I got 2 baby mamas, so I don't really. I can't go nowhere, bro. I'm stuck, but we'll get. Don't worry about that. We won't worry about that. Oh man, that's hilarious.
If anything, I would want to get like another property or something. It would be in California.
Have you bought yourself a piece of land or anything yet?
Nah, no. I wouldn't.
Are you yourself worried about where the market is right now to buy something, or should you not speak on that?
Nah, I'm not really worried about it. No, it's not no financial advisor for people that I can't rely back on.
I got you.
What I'm saying, but
I know you're not obviously. Don't take any of his statements.
Yeah, but
too serious.
Not really, because it's like, I guess people right now are thinking like the interest rates are like so high where they can't buy a house. But if you look back 10 years ago, the interest rates were at 10%. So like we're at 6 right now, and 10 years ago
it was at 10%.
They were at 10% like 10 years ago.
So if you paid for a $200,000 house, you had to pay an extra $20,000
for that 10% interest rate. Yeah. So Jesus but like the difference now is that the inflation brought the houses so high. And now the interest rates are kind of like at 6, so people are thinking...
It's just seeming like it's super high.
People are really thinking like, oh my god, this house is like
it's
this high, and now interest rates at 6, we can't afford this. But like realistically, like you're not gonna get that house that's $400,000 for $200,000. Like say goodbye.
It's just not happening anymore.
Yeah, it's not going back to like old times.
It might, if anything, it might
like
correct a little bit, but it's not
ways.
gonna fucking go down to
you're not gonna buy a house for under $200,000 anymore.
Just not happening.
Yeah, it's like we're just in new times. We're paying $8 for gas for like, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but
this is a little conspiracy theory, kind of going off the page a little bit. How do you feel about that, bro? Do you feel like they're almost pricing out the middle class?
The $8.
Just like $8 a gallon, every inflation. Do you feel like it's kind of making the middle class harder to own a home, harder to like get into real estate?
It's kind of like a tough question because like I don't even know the reason for it. Honestly.
I don't either, dude, and it just seems kind of ridiculous, bro.
Like it's like like an average person can't even like.
If you're just thinking about a family, any family, doesn't matter who, single mom, single dad, whatever, and they're barely getting by, and then gas just jumps to $6 a gallon, bro. I'm like,
and it's like thankfully, like I guess like I could afford to fill up my tank for $80 every week and shit.
Yeah,
but there's some people that like can't. Like honestly, have probably multiple jobs, multiple kids. They can barely afford their rent. Rent spiked up too, so it's like not like. So like people trying to live like an average everyday life are like struggling and getting like kicked out, hoping things slow down faster. I would say. But I guess I want to say.
That's something I also think why people should kind of look more into buying a home, buying something instead of rent, because rent has kind of just blown up, bro. It's like you might as well just pay a mortgage and own something, and have something.
Yeah, and we try to do that too. So it's like people come to us like we want to lease a house for like $2,500 or $3,000 a month.
You could own a house for less a month, probably.
Like my first question is like, why aren't you buying a house? Like if you're gonna fork away $3,000 a month, you could like literally be buying a mortgage probably cheaper than $3,000 a month. And I guess most of the time the people, they have like other problems that like why they can't. But like I always ask that question too, is like, why don't you buy a house? It makes sense for people that want their rent around like $1,500, $2,000. Maybe you can't buy a house like that, but like when you're paying $3,000 or something, you definitely can.
You could probably find something.
Yeah, so that's why I advise people like you should try to buy a house when you can, because for tax purposes too.
What would you tell somebody that's looking for a home and they have no idea where to start? Like if they've never bought a house, they've never even like what should they do?
you have to get in contact. You have to find an agent, I would say.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, because then they're gonna direct you to a lender where you're gonna get like pre-qualified and run your credit.
That's the first thing you gotta do, right?
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, they want to run your credit. Like they want to see 2 years of like pay stubs or employment. Well, if you're a business owner, they definitely want to see 2 years of deposits in your bank. So like they want to see that you're getting some type of income.
You can fucking afford
exactly.
what you're getting. Yeah.
So, but like 2 years is like the rule of thumb where they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always the first rule is pre-qualified because it's like why. Someone can say like, "Oh, I want to look for a house for like 600,000." Then it's like, "All right, show me proof that you can even afford this before I waste my time messing with you." Like,
well, that's kind of the fucking issue that happened. What 10 years ago is people couldn't afford the houses.
Yeah, so they had the adjustable rate. So they would.
That's so fucked, bro. That's so crazy.
They were buying houses that they couldn't afford. Then like the next year,
the rate would go up.
Their interest rate was like from 0 to 5. So now they added like $1,000 on the mortgage payment. They couldn't afford it, so they just they lost their house because they couldn't afford it. So that's why everyone was losing their house. Is that the people that shouldn't have bought a home bought a home.
Did those end? Is there?
Yeah, I think those are done with like those.
Because that was like kind of almost a scam in a way.
Yeah, and it's almost it kind of was.
Like, I guess not because they know it's gonna go up, but clearly it's.
But at the same time, like the people that bought a house,
I'm sure there was some fine print too.
Yeah, like they probably knew they shouldn't have bought a house, I guess.
I got you. Yeah.
Or they thought they could and they didn't know it was gonna. Like,
or they're like, the first year we're good, baby. The first year we're good. I'll figure it out after that. I'll figure it out. Man, that's hilarious.
Like somehow figure out how to make like $2,000 more next year.
Which
a month.
Yeah. So that's something. I guess that's something that would be something on the con side. Is obviously it's a commitment. You know, buying a house is a commitment. You gotta have a way to afford it. But then again, you could sell your house before you get behind on it.
Yeah.
You don't have to like wait until you're fucking just losing.
And the thing, I was reading something, or I was listening to like someone
try to sell it. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah, I was listening to someone speak this past week, and it's like California real estate is the most appreciative, like in the whole 50 states. So it's like probably like the best state to buy property.
Yeah.
Because it's like regardless, like when you
even with all the issues, you feel like California is still just the way to go.
Because when I guess so like if you buy a house, it could go down. Say you bought a house this year, next year it might go down like 50,000 or something. But your fixed mortgage is like 30 years probably. So by 30 years, that shit's not gonna be 50,000 down the drain.
It's gonna be up. I get what you're saying.
It's gonna go up. Like
California
is not going to trash.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
So like the mortgage that you're paying for
you're not buying
30
for
years,
just today.
Yeah, exactly. You're not buying for next year. You're not buying for 2 years. You're buying for 30 years. So like in the long run, your house isn't gonna go down in value unless like. I don't know. Something below, like, I don't know.
You're like, I don't know. It could, technically. Yeah. Really good, but...
Like, 99.9%, like, your house isn't going down in value. It's just...
Houses and property are kind of like one of those, like... They're like a good investment. Like, they're
it's
like
the
one
best
of those,
investment you can make.
It doesn't really, like... Yeah, you just don't ever really, like, lose out. It doesn't just go to zero. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not buying a stock and it just...
Yeah, it's not going to crash to zero.
It
might crash a little, but it's going to build back up. Unlike like other stocks, like they might just crash to zero.
People need to live, bro. They gotta have a house. You know? Like, so
exactly.
Somebody's gonna buy it, you know.
Well, you're not gonna buy a house. You're just gonna, I guess, live in the street.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to get a house eventually.
Yeah, man. Especially with fucking bro. I just feel like all the cities are getting packed nowadays. You know, like you can't even find an apartment or like a house on the market. I feel like
apartments now are like
a little more open.
Well, I would say like a 1 bed, 1 bath is like $1,700. Well, for an apartment.
That's rough.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So that's like right now.
That's
rough. They're actually the rent prices are actually kind of dropping like slowly.
Let's see what else you guys said here.
Now this shit's kind of slowing down.
Oh, peace out, Volan Views. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys that are tuning in. Definitely follow Seth Morales, especially if you're looking for a house, looking to even lease, bro. You guys help out people that are leasing too, right? How does that work? You're just looking for leads, basically. Like you're just looking for properties or whatever, and
yeah, if they want to like lease a house or if they want to find something to rent, we're able to kind of go around and do like the whole thing of
because the search for them, kind of.
Yeah, the search is the same exact process as buying a house.
Oh,
except for these. The only thing they have to do is kind of run their credit report and a background to see their rent history, whether they're kind of being evicted, like shit like
if
that.
they're
Little
even
tedious
gonna be
things,
able
yeah.
to get accepted.
Whether the tenant wants them. And I have like a new, I don't know if it's the lease listing that someone's trying to rent out in Palm Springs.
Oh, okay.
So that one's like a condo, like 5 minutes away from downtown Palm Springs, from like Village Pub and all that shit. So they did like a 1031 exchange, but they just can't live in it for 2 years for tax purposes. So if you do a 1031 exchange, you can't live in it for the following 2 years unless you want to pay tax on that property, because like you're rolling over the proceeds from the house that they sold to this one.
Okay.
So they're renting it out so they don't have to pay taxes on it for 2 years. So that's kind of how it works.
Gotcha.
Then we had someone speak in our office the other day. This is something new to me too. So like, do you know like when you're in the middle of, I don't even.
So that is that when you're basically downsizing? Is that when you're downsizing? So they don't want you to like. I don't understand that. So
it's like you're rolling over the.
Like you made money on your first property.
Yeah,
saying,
and they're
right?
buying a second one.
Okay.
But
so rent it out. You don't live in it for 2 years, then you don't pay taxes.
Yes.
Whoa.
So it's a loophole, like in the.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like an investment type that turns
Good
into
loophole.
like it's a loophole, and I can't. I'm not even like 100% clear on like because they get
you
so
just kind of
complicated.
heard it, kind of you kind of.
I know that's how the like the basics of how it works.
Yeah.
So
what was
first
the next one you're telling me? What was the second one you're saying? You just learned.
So like the 10 is the same 1031 exchange. So it's like you're selling something to buy something else.
Okay.
So
all right.
there's someone that those when you're in the middle of the ocean and those buoys that stick out in the middle of the water.
Yes.
So a guy from a tax the 1031 thing, I swear, he sold that thing for $350,000 and went and bought a condo. that thing that sits in the middle of the ocean.
How?
$350,000. You could buy them.
Why would you buy that? Why would somebody buy that?
Real estate.
It says something. You got a piece of the ocean.
$350,000. They sold that and bought a condo. And so I didn't even know that you can actually each windmill here in Palm Springs, since we're here, each windmill in Palm Springs has its own APN and like tax ID. So if you wanted to,
you could buy a windmill.
You could buy a windmill.
No
each windmill has its own little plot.
Even though that's like a whole company, isn't that?
So
isn't that a whole business over there?
And that's what I thought, but it turns out it's if you're into like wind and saving energy and some type of
like buy
write-off.
one of their
yeah, you could buy a
something.
windmill, and you could hold on to it, sell it. I don't know, 50 years later or something.
Just some weird shit.
Yeah, you could buy a windmill. So like, there's things you could someone buy.
Because there's all kinds of different. We're getting into real estate. There's different types of land, right? Like there's land you can't build on. There's land there's just for commercial property.
Yeah,
there's land for like real estate.
Residential.
Like how does that work? Like what is that? What are all the?
It's like it's zoned.
Yeah. What is that? What the fuck is that?
So like,
how does that?
It's just zoned into different areas. So there's like certain areas where you can only build a residential house. You can only build a condo.
So they're trying to keep houses with houses.
Yeah.
Like I get okay. So like
like
stores with stores.
Yeah,
shit
you can't put a house in the middle of a shopping center. You can't put a shopping center in the middle of a neighborhood. Like you can't put a.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so there's zones for certain purposes that you can only put them in for. So and there's so many zones.
There's like
the most common
shit.
is like commercial and residential, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's most random things. Like the same exact. Someone sold a house and bought 250 plots at a cemetery. Like that can't like. So you see me? So like, there's I barely learned this. Like, there's so many things that you can buy.
Well, it could be smart because people will buy those plots off.
People are buying the plots.
They're like, oh, I need these 3 plots together. I need these 4 plots together.
Exactly.
I need this and you bought them as a whole lot. Like,
you bought 250 plots, and obviously people are gonna pay for them. They have to.
People die.
Yeah, people die. So that's like a need. But that was like something that I learned.
Whoa!
So I learned the same day as the buoy, the windmill, the.
That's the craziest thing. I've learned too, like one of the things I've learned along the way, bro, just growing up and shit, is investments and just making money. There's a million.
You have to buy stuff,
bro. But there's a million different ways.
Yeah,
like
so it's
that.
not like if you can't afford a house, you can buy something that's cheaper that's gonna go up. I can't think of the top of my head, but there's always something to buy that's.
Yeah, well, dude, even if you have any sort of mechanical skills in cars, they always say are the worst investment. But if you can get a car that's very cheap, that isn't working very well, and you can just work on it, you got some skills, and you can actually you're a mechanic. Obviously, you can flip that, make some money. Nowadays, the used car market too is fucking.
That's worse.
off the hook, bro. It's crazy. The new market.
You could buy like a new car cheaper for a used car.
That's crazy. What the fuck? It doesn't even make sense.
You can't
to
even
me.
give me that. I don't know.
How does that make sense, bro? It doesn't. Even, that's like saying, oh, you can buy a shitty house for more expensive than a nice house. Like, it doesn't even make sense, bro. It's like,
yeah, I guess the only, I wouldn't know. I think it's just because like the production and like the chip shortage, whatever, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like if you order a brand new car, you're not gonna get it till months down the road. I'm assuming like if you buy a used car, you get it right now.
I guess you. More it's like supply and demand, I guess.
I'm guessing that's how the car lots are like pricing and stuff. I wouldn't know. Yeah,
I don't get it. Yeah, it's obviously not our.
That's my niche.
Yeah,
it's
not our profession. We're not looking in the car market. But that's crazy because I had just talked to my aunt about that because she bought my nephew a brand new truck and I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, it was cheaper than the used one.
Yeah,
I was like, might as well then, I guess.
Yeah,
but it makes no sense.
I don't get it. I wouldn't know.
Crazy, man. That's so crazy. What are you looking for in a property yourself, bro? Do you have any investments that you have in mind? Anything that you've thought of yourself?
I just want to own a business besides my own. Like, I'm running a real estate business, but like other than that, like, I've talked to my parents.
You just want to be own something, be behind.
Yeah. So like to get like passive income type thing. So like I'm gonna be getting a monthly. Like I'm working, I'm gonna get something monthly, like a monthly.
Residual income.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something monthly on top of real estate. Yeah, so like a passive income type thing. So I've talked to my parents. Like I'm still 23. Like I said, like give me like 3 more years at the house. And it's like I'm gonna stack up like as much money as I can, put it in different places before I buy a house. Because obviously before I have to pay like a mortgage, I want to put it somewhere elsewhere where maybe if I put, I don't know, 50 grand in a business, it's like that thing is going to be able to pay my house off monthly where I don't have to worry about like, damn, I need to do this.
Just to be able to afford my mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to invest in something where it's going to like pay my house off for me. Then eventually once the house is paid off, that's where something I'm looking like in the long run, then it starts just turning into your pocket.
You just gotta figure out a business, some sort of investment that's gonna
exactly. Then,
throw some income in your pocket.
Yeah, and there's like so many things, just like how we were talking about the investing in real estate, how it goes from cemetery plots, like blah blah blah. You could like literally
it's everywhere.
You could run a business for anything.
Yeah, you just gotta find a niche that people need.
Yeah,
like a necessity that people are gonna.
Then eventually, like,
well, they're gonna look for it. You know?
Yeah, so I want to turn into like more of like an investor type person. I want to buy a commercial. You could buy like
you want to be like a shark from Shark Tank.
Yeah, I want to buy shit and
have your hands in a few things. Yeah, you know, just be.
And now we're like I'm like fucking people over for like.
No, yeah.
But like I follow like a bunch of people where they buy like commercial buildings. So you could buy like one little lot. So say like like right here in the Quinta, like the Baskin Robbins, like China Joe's, like you could buy that little that little shopping
center. They're
renting
renting from you.
Yeah, so like I don't know how much that would be, like a million, a couple million.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then now they're paying rent to me for just owning the building.
You gotta just
obviously
deal with that initial investment.
Yeah, but once like that initial investment comes back to you, once that shit's paid off and the money starts like rolling back to you, that's when you start getting like.
I think that's dividends. A big deal that people don't understand is if you're gonna make it, bro, and if you really want to like go big, you gotta risk it. Like, and you just said you gotta spend money, but like. You gotta risk it. Like if you think like you're gonna be a millionaire, you're not gonna be able to make it by spending hundreds. You know, like
what is this like a rich man's best friend? It's like you have to go in debt. A debt is your best friend,
which is to a point, which is crazy, bro. Because you see all those businesses that are huge, they're all in debt. You're like, what the fuck? I don't get it. Like,
so there's a difference in taking out like going in credit card debt for fucking unnecessary daily shit, or you're taking out like a business loan for a couple $100,000. And you use that for a business that's like
that you're building.
Yeah, and you're hoping that business succeeds so you can pay that loan back.
That's one of the weirdest things I've heard as well is like you're building a business to sell it. Like some people are just building a business to sell it.
And for that's triple the I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, but that's so crazy to me, bro. Like you build this whole baby, and a lot of people they've just gotten it down to science where they just build it to sell it, bro. They build it, they make $1 million, they make it to this working company that has all these employees, and they just sell that
You
shit,
just-
bro. And they
just
do it
buy it
over
out,
and
yeah.
over and over again, bro. And I trip out on, like, people are freaking out. Like, shit, for me, example, I'm freaking out on starting one business, you know? And
Yeah.
people are like, bro, I've gone through 50 of them, you know? And it's
Yeah,
like,
they make it seem so easy.
yeah, exactly. It's
And that's
wild.
what- yeah, because I guess I'm this. Whether it's like real estate is like, I don't want to be selling real estate when I'm like 70 years old. Like there's some people, like I want to. I do it like I'll sell it for like years to come.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I don't want to be here for like 50 years, like until I'm in the grave, fucking selling real estate. I want to put it in places where I could like.
What do
eventually
you
enjoy life?
would you want to? Because this is a big thing I've heard as well as like, do you want to retire? Is there like a? Do you want to like go at one point just kind of like retire and go sit on an island or whatever? You don't think you'd ever get bored doing that, or would you rather just keep working if it's something you enjoy? Like if it's
I think
not
just
really
keep working if you
like that,
enjoy.
investing in your shit, you know,
Yeah.
investing in.
I think
building
I would just
something.
keep working until like things like that. Pretty much what I'm fucking doing right now. I guess like the difference between now and then, not then, in the future, is like now I'm like hustling to like build clients and do all this stuff. Within like the next 20 years is like they kind of start coming to you.
They've
So it's
already
like you
seen
don't-
you around.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my goal is where like people just start kind of like I don't have
You
to,
got a reputation.
I don't have to pick up the phone and like oh like blah blah blah. They kind of just they call me. So that's where it kind of gets like
yeah,
I guess a little easier to impart.
Because
But
I think retirement is almost like a fallacy, bro. It's almost like
your life's over. That's
it's just almost fake. Yeah, and it's almost something that I feel like got pushed to the working class because it's like you work 20 years, you work 30 years, you get to retire, and bro,
you're
a
already
lot
60.
and a lot of people that retire, they die within the next couple of years.
Yeah,
so you
that's
retire, you die 2 years down the road. It's like, did you even retire?
I forgot that.
Like-
There's a stat on that too. Something about like the most people that retire, they usually like 10 years. Like and it's
They're
like,
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, how? That wasn't even retirement. You might as
Yeah.
well just have kept working and enjoyed yourself.
It's
If
kinda
it was
weird.
so that's something I've been thinking about. You know, I think it's like a big thing that everybody's pushed and all. Yeah, I've even thought about myself. You know, like get that good career and build your retirement and get your fucking all these benefits and all this shit. And it's like you obviously want the benefits. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But is retirement even what it sounds like?
You
know,
can't
what
have
they-
both. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess you can't own your own business and obviously have benefits. That's like the what do you call it?
You're like in a rock and a hard place. Like you have like
That's the risk you're taking right
you
there.
could have the safe route, which is never that exciting. You take the safe route, you do your time, you get your benefits, or you could take the exciting, crazy route that might fail, and you might end up being a failure and have
Yeah.
nothing saved up at the end.
Then you might have to go the safe route like 20 years later or something.
And be working
Oh,
Walmart greeter, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. But-
Bro, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's. But
So-
like I was the same. Like my parents, they wanted me at first. So like I went to COD for like 2 years. I wanted to be in like psychology, in the investigator and shit in the psychologist world.
Okay.
But then it's like COVID hit. Then like switch of plans. I want to kind of like try something new. And I was like, I kind of like this better where I'm like roaming free. Like I don't have to.
It's on you, kind of.
Yeah, it's on my own like work ethic.
You
What I
don't
want
got
to
a
do.
boss. You don't got a guy telling you got to come here. You got to do that. You got to write this fucking whatever.
Yeah,
paper,
it's for my
whatever.
own
It's like-
accountability, and it kind of like it to a way is like if I don't do something for like a day, like I feel guilty. Which
I
is
got
kind of
you.
like I don't know if that's a good thing. I guess it is a good thing. Like if I don't do something
It's
progressing like in a day, like
obviously you
mentally,
could be too addicted to working, and you can work too hard to where it's like, yeah, is that it? But is that bad?
Yeah.
You know? But people say like you know you're not focusing on anything else, but obviously you are. You have a list of life, fucking
things I
work,
can do.
lifting, career. So obviously you're thinking full circle. You're not thinking just career, work.
Yeah,
work.
it's like a full circle. Like I want to keep everything balanced, where it's like I don't want to be so focused on like.
And I think
real
that's
estate
lazy
where-
people, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think that's lazy people that say that.
Or like I don't have enough time, like I can't work out. There's always time to work out. It just depends how much
So
early you
you-
want to wake up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm waking up at 4. I don't have kids though, so I like I
The
don't
last
know.
couple of days, bro, I've been going to the gym at fucking like 4:30 a.m., bro.
Yeah,
because I just
sometimes-
wake up and I used to like wake up and just fuck around or just like
lay there for an extra
yeah, and I'm just
4
like
hours.
I'm just gonna go to the gym.
Yeah,
You know?
might as well.
Or go back, or I'd like lay back down, go back to bed or whatever, and it's like I'm already up. Just
Yeah.
go work out, bro. get your shit done, and it's fucking 7 a.m. and your whole day's you got your whole day.
I think that's like the best feeling too. Is like you're done with your workout, you're walking out of the gym at 7 or 8, and it's like, the fuck, I have the whole day ahead of me.
It's like barely the morning, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I caught myself texting people at like 6:30 a.m. I'm like, oh fuck,
shit, what am I doing?
People aren't even awake. People aren't even awake. I'm fucking texting them and shit, dude. That's crazy.
It's like a peace of mind almost to a point too. It's because it's like you're up before everyone. You feel like you're by yourself, literally.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like
you don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to.
It's not you against the world, right? It's not you against the world, but it's like you feel like, I'm doing what other people aren't doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, you just feel
like people are barely waking up. I just finished this shit. I've already ate breakfast. I went to the gym. Like, I'm on to my next thing.
I've already started my looking at houses or leads or whatever it is, and you're like, you just feel 10 steps ahead.
And I've seen something where it was like, if you wake up like at 4 here and like do your workout, it's like you're getting your day started before someone in New York.
That's crazy. Yeah,
so like
yeah. I've read that too. I read
like
that same type of thing.
I think it's like 4 here, 7 in New York or some shit. 8. So like if you wake up at 4 here, like
it's still early as fuck over there,
and there's still
for
people
a lot
like
of people
sleeping. So it's like you're ahead of like the world, half of the world probably just doing.
Yeah. And it might have been another. I might have heard that saying, but it was twisted. It was like you got to think if you're waking up at like 8 here. It's already the afternoon in New York. It's like already 12.
Like
people are
fucking, exactly.
They've been up all day, you know, like.
Even though they've been up at the same amount of hours, but like in the long, it's like a little mental advantage thing.
Yeah, they got.
You can think that way. Yeah.
Technically, a 4-hour advantage or whatever.
Mm-hmm. On their day, they're 4 hours ahead of you.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's like a little mental thing that like some people can like roll with, or they just think it's like, oh, it's bullshit.
What keeps you? Like, what keeps you in the zone, bro? Like, what? Like every day, what keeps you on the mission? Keeps you in the zone? Keeps you what keeps you disciplined? Because I feel like at some point it's not the motivation, right? At some point there's days where you must not feel good. There's got to be days where you feel like fuck this workout.
Feel like shit.
Yeah, and then you get there and you fucking work out. You know, you still get it done. So what is it? What's keeping you disciplined? Is there anything?
My own accountability.
Yeah.
Like, own accountability. And
is that just from your? Is that work ethic? But is that work ethic from like your childhood and shit, bro? Because even like your sister, not to bring like family, where your sister was a fucking star athlete. She was a savage at softball.
Yeah.
You were a star athlete. Like, was work ethic just instilled in you guys from?
And I've actually learned. So like, that probably gave my answer right there. It was probably from like football. So that was like where you learn discipline, and you would know that.
Yeah.
It's like whether it's waking up, you have to do this. You practice every day, meetings, practice. And it's like you're at the school from 7 to 7. Yeah. That's almost like a full-time job.
Yeah, well, sometimes, like, even at La Quinta, we would practice before school. So we would go in and we'd do, like, training or whatever in the gym at, like, 6 or whatever.
And, like, I don't think people, like, understand, like, how hard that... Because it's like we were in high school working a full-time job. Then it's like, after all that shit, you still have to go do homework.
Yeah,
so it's like things... So, like, people, like, had the easy life where they're just going to school and they're bitching about, like, grades and... Like, and there's so much, like, more things that we athletes had to do.
And I think that's a huge positive that people don't think about when it comes to sports. It's not really about like even being the cool guy or the tough guy or anything like that. It's about just
learning life lessons.
Yeah, the life lessons in general. The work ethic, like it takes a process to get to where you want to go, you know? Like it's not just for show. You can't just get to the championship if you suck, you know? Like it's just I don't know. Yeah, you learn how to lose, obviously, and you learn it sucks, so you learn to just work harder if you lose. Out. Yeah, man.
That was probably like the biggest like takeaway I've taken from like high school sports and like certain like coaches and stuff was like things like that where it's like no matter like how bad it was, it's like you're still there, you're still doing this, whether it's not giving up, like things like that, like life lessons were like taught like throughout like the whole thing. And you can like look back now like, oh, I didn't go to college and play sports, but it's like it's helping me right now on my career wise, whether it's like sport related or not.
That was something that I had a tough transition, bro. Was the transition from playing sports and having that routine to not. Because when I didn't, bro, I was fucking like, I was like, oh, I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And then you realize, like, damn, bro.
It's almost like too much time.
It's too free. Yeah, like, I'm not doing shit, you know? Like, and that was something I had to I learned later, you know. I'm sure after having kids and you know all that, you know, you learn like, damn, bro, I liked that discipline. Like the discipline was nice. It gave me almost like freedom knowing how hard I worked during the day, you know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So
like going home after a long day, like it felt rewarding.
Yes. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And I guess that's like most of the people that like you just have to pick up something else to like cover that free time.
And that's what it is. Yeah. You gotta find something like that scratches that itch, that drive.
Yeah. And I guess mine's right now has been golf.
That's wild, bro.
And
I was getting into
jiu-jitsu
for a while.
Football.
Yeah, I know that's what. But you know what's cool with golf, which it weirdly is connected to real estate, is the patience, dude. Because you would like if you suck, bro. Golf sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like when I sucked, and I still am not that good, but when I couldn't even get it like in the air,
it's not fun,
bro. I was ready to fight whoever I was golfing with, bro. I was like,
bro,
why am I here? Like, why am I here? You know, like.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely, I'm sure that had to be like, it's good to build your patience, bro.
Most of the people people that say it like I've gone out. They say like I've gone out once, I sucked and I quit. So
yeah.
Okay, obviously like that's why you suck. You fucking went out one day and
you're gonna suck, bro.
You quit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess I had the ability where I could just go and like swing a golf. I'm not saying I'm a fucking like pro, but like I could go out there and like swing a golf club to my hand-eye coordination. Like I have the capability.
You can do it all right. Yeah.
I have the capability of doing it.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm.
You're just an athlete.
And I could. Yeah, like so now.
Which is weird to say about a golfer, because
they're John Daly.
Yeah, bro. Like what the fuck? Those are the craziest. Those and bowlers, bro. I don't know if you guys are considered athletes, but I'll give it to you. Man.
Yeah, I don't know if you consider those athletes, but shit, that shit's probably like the hardest thing.
Hey, well, they consider e-sport guys athletes. They consider the gamers.
Then definitely golf is. It's a sport, but I guess an athlete. I guess, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, bro. I'd say.
I've seen some people that like probably look like they can't even walk, or just like.
And they just smash a golf ball.
Yeah, and they could rock it 300 yards and shit.
I've seen some of those old ladies at the golf courses, bro.
Yeah,
they're like hunched, bro, and they still hit the shit out of it.
Old guys too. They're like 70, 80. They could somehow swing a golf club and like dead straight every time, and they're shooting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you ready to wrap this shit up?
Yeah.
Let's wrap this shit up. So, where can they reach you, bro? Where can they reach you on Instagram? Wherever, where should they reach out to you if they're trying to like look for a house or even talk to you about anything when it comes to it?
On Instagram is my biggest platform. Yeah, the website doesn't really, I guess, to a way, but
you have a website?
Yeah, we have a self-built website, but it's something where it's like they kind of just search up houses and they'll show everything on the market through my website, and it kind of gives me like who's going into it.
Oh, but like as a little analytics.
Yeah, but as far as like not even analytics, but they can see everything that's on the market to like buy. But as far as like,
I'm saying like you. Does it tell you the analytics? Like, does it tell you?
Yeah, it'll tell me like names. It'll tell me like who's coming in the website each time they kind of click on it. But like I don't advertise my website as much just because like I get more flow through Instagram. I guess it's more like people
have
just
you
click,
run any TikToks
blah, blah,
at all?
Blah.
Have you done any real estate TikTok?
I've done a couple, but like they don't go as. Instagram Reels is like where I get a lot of.
Where you get some.
Yeah, like I did some that stupid
traction.
reel that I made. I don't know if you see.
I saw it. Yeah.
So that thing has like 10,000 views.
No way.
So like shit like that. So like I guess that's what grabs people's attention. Is like it's almost like I've already built my platform up kind of on Instagram. I want to say built it up, but I have like almost 2,000. Mm-hmm. So I have.
It's pretty good. It's not, bro. It's hard to build your
and I have enough people like looking at it every day already, where it's like I could kind of like just post whatever and people see it, whether it's real estate, life, blah blah blah. So I kind of like I find that like balance of all three, where I don't bombard people with like 20 real estate posts a day, 20 gym posts. Like it's kind of like
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but most of like the Instagram it's set around real estate. That's where people can message me and do all that stuff. That's where I have people go to Instagram.
Do you feel like that's your best way to market? Is Instagram like the Reels is
for sure
the best way to get
Instagram
out there?
Reels, posts, stories. But I found like Instagram's been my biggest thing, where I've had people message me, whether it's questions or they want to do something within the like next couple months. That's been my biggest thing is Instagram.
Yeah, I like the Reels as well. I've had a few like with my collectible page that kind of just take off, which is pretty interesting.
And I'm not the only one. Like there's people that build their shit just off social media, just by, and especially. And like, that's why I don't do like the cold calling, all that stuff. Is like you could build it like a realistic way. It's like I want to build like personal relationships.
Yeah, you
like
don't want to
someone
fucking annoy people either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like just like people listening and they're just like, oh my god, this bitch just calling.
And there was
me.
so like the person that I met that did this new lease thing in Palm Springs is like I met at Arnold Palmer working. So it was like I want to do things like that where it's like I was talking to him for like 30 minutes outside the restaurant, and like my other work clothes, I told him I'm in real estate. Like I threw it out there as much as I could. Like I swapped business cards, then he called me 6 months later saying like, oh, I have a client that needs help. So like he trusts me enough to like do that. So that's where it's like kind of the thing that like you want to build personal relationships where it's like, okay, like I could trust this guy to do business with.
You're building a real foundation. Like you're building real people that you talk to, real connections. Yeah. You're not just calling randoms and hoping something sticks.
Yeah, so rather than like calling on a phone and like, do you want to sell your house? And they're like, no, fuck off. Like that comes off as like real salesperson-y.
Yeah.
And I guess to a point like you do have to learn sales, but like once you start building trust and like people know that they can trust your business and you're doing it successfully, that's kind of like the route I'm kind of taking. That's where it takes patience too, is because like I have to let it kind of come to a point.
Yeah, and you don't want people to make you seem, you don't want to seem like you're desperate, right? You don't want people to be like, this fucking guy has to call me fucking 12 times.
All he wants to do is make his commission check and run.
And that's it, yeah.
Like, it's like more I want to like help people out. I want them to, whether they need help, they can come and call me and like I'll help them out at their pace. I'm not gonna fucking.
I don't know how many times I've called you, you help me, bro, and you never asked for a dime or anything, and that's like you're working basically, you know, like you're fucking working, you know. So that's cool, bro. That's I feel like that'll help you, and that's the big thing I've built with like even my collectible page or using the podcast. I guess the main thing is to get those returning people, you know, the people that want to come back and look at it, the people that want to come back and call you again, like they like talking to you, so they're like, I'll call them again for the next one, you know.
And I think that's actually like the biggest, I think for any business, the biggest referral you can get for any business is word of mouth.
Yes.
So like past clients, they refer you out like, oh, this person was great, you did this. So then it's like you're building a big old tree.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest. That's like the biggest thing you could do is word of mouth. Because the biggest thing you can get.
Word of mouth just doesn't feel fake. Like
no, it's like it's a personal relationship that they've already gone through with this person. So it's like, okay, if my cousin could trust this guy, like I'm gonna be able to trust this guy, obviously. So it's like
exactly.
Whether it's family, friends, is like they've been through the process already. So
how often do you talk to a family friend or whatever? They mention somebody and then you go with that person. Like that's like how often does that?
You're gonna trust them.
You're gonna 100% of the time almost. Like you ask somebody and they're like, go with this guy. Like, all right, fuck it, I'll use that guy. You know. Like,
and whether they're from out of state too, because I've met a lot of like that guy. That one agent was from LA.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
so like he's not even from here. So it's like building things from out of state too.
That's
for the snowbirds. So like people like, oh, like I have a friend in Seattle that was wanting to move here within the coming years. And it's like, okay, like I know this guy in the desert, and obviously they all fled here from up north.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a good way too.
That's an interesting way. That's a good thing about Instagram or social media in general, bro. You can promote yourself
globally.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Like you can. It used to be like word to mouth is big, right? But you can actually now
you can get more than
out
word of
there, bro. You know, like word of mouth. You used to have to literally sit there and build your business
without social media. Now
literally
social media is
one customer at a time.
Like in the palm of your hands, you could just fucking get something. Rather than back then, it's like you gotta really pick up a phone every day and just call.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, when I first started, I actually did door knocking. So like I went.
Really?
I did it for like a month. I did it for a month. I was going from door to door, just knocking on people's doors, and like, I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything from it. It's not like I was saying like, do you want to buy your house? I was handing out like a piece of paper from like a housing report to show how many like how much percent your neighborhood has gone up in value.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, like I'm just handing these out. I'm not here to tell you like, do you want to sell your house?
Just let you know about.
I would hand them a piece of value, that piece of paper, and my business card. Like if you know anyone, blah blah blah. Like take it. So it was like I didn't get anything from that, but it taught me as a fucking like I was doing some.
You were doing some of the
type shit.
Yeah, dude. Exactly, guerrilla marketing.
Not everyone's gonna go, for sure, knock on people's doors and having conversations.
I've debated on doing that shit.
And that was hard for me. Like I would pull up in the park, not the parking lot. I'd pull up at the end of the street and kind of just sit there for like 10 minutes. Like,
think about it. Think about your life, bro.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to get off, but like, I'm gonna just do it.
Did you sit there just thinking about your life? Like, fuck, bro.
Like, is this shit worth it? But like, damn.
I know these people aren't even gonna like me when I come in there. They're gonna be all pissed off.
Like, why is he knocking on my door? So you're already getting like that thing. A lot of people were like, man, you can hear them talking through their window
already
in the kitchen.
Angry?
And like, once you knock, like, dead silent. Like, so like the treatment that we give everyone else, they were giving to me.
Just
and
like,
it's not. Yeah, like I was like, all right, whatever. They don't want to talk. So I'll leave.
Bro, that's fucked up, bro. You're just like, fuck. Oh, dude. So they get dead silent, not even answer the door.
Just like I know you're in there, but they're like, oh shit, maybe he doesn't hear us. But like, I know you're in there. So
turn off the TV and shit.
Yeah,
like, bro.
But I just turn around and walk away. I didn't take it like hard feelings. I had no one shut the door and say like, fuck off, like don't come here. Like, I never had that. Nah.
That's pretty good, man. That's actually pretty good then for people that are trying to, even thinking about doing door to door for anything. At least you didn't have too many people fucking freaking out on you. But if you're doing sales, more like just selling shit, I feel like more people are like.
And I know the thing is like when people call, you're more apt to tell someone like fuck you on the phone rather than in person.
Yeah.
Especially the old cranky people, like on the phone they're gonna tell you like fuck off, don't call me again. But in person they're gonna be like, no, thank you. Unless you do run into that one bad person that's just in a pissy mood all the time.
Man,
like I don't know.
Bro, yeah.
But like I didn't have that.
Luckily you did, and you have your arm sleeve.
Yeah.
So they were probably a little.
I'm for sure like I'm the only one.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm the only one in my office that's like nearly that looks like me. I guess that's it. Not in a bad way, but I'm the
you just
youngest
look like
one
a youngin. Like you said, you're 23.
Yeah.
So you just look like you're like, I don't know, like you just look like a prodigy, bro. Like you're like gonna fucking take over one of these days. You know, like you're way too young to be in the office. I'm sure. Like there's probably no one that's around your age that is in the real estate office.
Not as much. Like they're in real estate. But I guess in the office they're just not there as much as me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't speak for other people, but I'm just rolling with it and just going like all in. I guess that's it. Yeah. But like I haven't had people like tattoos stop me. I haven't had anything. I just dress up nice to like fucking match it. Like if I dress up nice with tattoos,
it should be fine.
Yeah.
And nowadays, bro, everybody's got tattoos, but
it's kind of different if I show up like in baggy clothes and just look unpresentable, unprofessional. Then it's like, okay, then what the fuck is this guy doing?
What's crazy is I've heard that said multiple times is like real estate is not a part-time job. Like real estate's not a part-time job. Real estate's not a part-time job, and like that kind of seems like the more you talk, like it seems like it's not a fucking part-time job.
No.
Like you gotta like go to the office, even if you don't got nothing planned. Like even if you got no leads, like you gotta like do the consistent routine every day, because there's the one day you miss is the one day you got to sell. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And there was like. For instance, like today, there was someone else that was like sitting in the thing, whatever, they left, someone came in the office.
Wow.
They want to buy a house. So, like, and I got a phone call from
fucking lights over here fucking around.
Is it censored?
Yeah, it should be, but it turned, there we go.
So, like, things like that is like, that's where it's like, I was showing up every day, because I didn't want to be that person where it's like, oh, I didn't show up today, someone just fucking called the phone and said, like, I want to sell their house. And, like, in the back of my mind, it's like, damn, if I would have just showed up yesterday, like, if I would have just done this, if I would have just done that, just do it, then, like, eventually it's gonna, like, your time will come.
It's gonna pay off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of, like, the way I think at this point.
Especially if you're just chilling in the office, and it seems like it's pretty laid back, and you're probably doing whatever you want to do anyways.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do that at home, might as well be at the office doing the same shit.
Sitting, on my phone. Like, I had nothing to do with that. I was just sitting there.
Yeah. Planning
on, like, where am I gonna get this next thing? I would plan, like, marketing on Instagram, like, post all this bullshit, Facebook. But then he decided to call the phone, like, at 3 in the afternoon. Like, I could have been fucking home already, probably, at my next job.
Wow.
Yeah, so, like, things like that.
And that was your first sell? Was they called the 3? The guy called?
Yeah, he called, like, he just said straight up, like, I want to sell my house.
You're like,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You don't gotta tell me twice, sir.
Yeah,
When?
Exactly.
Where you need me? Where you need me at, sir?
Yeah. And that's it. Like, I guess I learned that, like, there was an older guy that's going to, like, an assisted living home. So then we sat in his living room for, like, an hour, and it felt like a therapy session. Almost, like, sad to a point. Like, damn, man, this shit's rough.
He just wanted to talk to you, man.
He was venting everything. Like, he's an older guy. He needs to sell his house to move into an assisted living. So it was like we were sitting there for an hour talking about, like, personal relationships. And that's where, like, he trusted us. Like, I was a young guy. My partner, he's 50. So like different age groups, and he's a different age group. So we had like 3 different times.
Yeah,
like,
and you guys weren't rushed. You weren't trying to rush to the sale. Like you guys were like sitting there.
Yeah, it turned in from like not even a sales talk. It turned into like a life therapy session. And that was like my whole like outlook on this. Was like, damn, this shit's like it's a whole different game.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's about. I'm sure after you learn like that, it's about building those relationships. Like it's about that 1 hour fucking talk. It's about
those little things like that like stick with you.
Yeah.
And, like he's gonna remember us. We're gonna remember him. Like obviously we're gonna keep in contact.
People don't understand that's a lifetime decision. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's like a big lifetime. Like you don't make how many houses you buy in a life. Like a lot of people don't even buy a house. A lot of people buy one. You know, so like. If they're looking at you for that big decision, like, bro, you got to be able to listen to them for a second. Yeah. Be able to sit there and have a conversation, and if they
feel like they can actually trust you to like talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. You know, just out for your fucking paycheck.
Yeah, that's where you don't want to. That's why I don't want to be either.
Interesting.
Like that, that's kind of. Then it turns into really sales guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen it. It seems like a typical. Occurrence that people that don't focus so much on the paycheck and the money tend to make the money, like you just in life in general, you know, like they should focus on their passion or like what they're into, like they focus on the main goal, and doing their job good or whatever,
and then it'll come,
and it just comes.
That's kind of how I think at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure that's kind of what your whole like list is. Your whiteboard and all. It's just like just follow the plan, let it. Yeah, it'll happen, bro.
Yep. It's working out.
Yeah.
Slowly it's working out.
Okay, let's wrap it up right here. Let's wrap it up right here. It's working out. Seth Morales Real Estate. I'm actually going to wrap it up on here first. I'll wrap it up on the regular one before we wrap it up on Twitch.
Then he'll tag my Instagram and all that. I'll have him tag it on. It's Seth Morales Real Estate, but I don't know the periods and dots and all that shit. But
I don't even know which one to stop first, bro. I forgot.